Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. This morning I have some very interesting and explosive news, exclusive to the Daily Fix. I am informed by some of my very reliable sources that the disclosures by Gininda, you'll recall that sometime during his cross-examination, Brigadier Gininda admitted that Kelly Khumalo was the mastermind behind the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. Gininda told the court that this is what his investigation of 636 had yielded. It was quite a startling disclosure. And when that disclosure was made, one would have expected that immediately thereafter, Kelly Khumalo would be arrested, because this was evidence coming out of court under oath by Gininda, the lead investigator in the Senzo Meyiwa investigation. But you'll also recall that Gininda went ahead to say that, had to make that disclosure, because the question would then be, why did the police not arrest Kelly Khumalo? So Gininda's explanation was that this was a prosecution-led investigation. And the decision whether or not to arrest Kelly Khumalo, therefore, was not in his hands. It was left to the prosecution to make that decision whether or not Kelly Khumalo should be arrested and charged with the other 5 people that we are seeing in the Pretoria High Court. Interestingly also, shortly after Gininda made that disclosure, in court, Kelly Khumalo dared Gininda to arrest her. And up to now, Gininda has done nothing to arrest Kelly Khumalo. The reasons are best left to Gininda and those that Gininda serves under. But this is the information that we have now, that in pursuance of 636, let us for a moment forget about the narrative of 375 and stick to the narrative that has put those 5 men in the Pretoria High Court that we see on our TV screens every single day when the trial is underway. The narrative that there were intruders there, and that they had been hired by none other than Kelly Khumalo. Those were the starting disclosures made by Brigadier Gininda. Gininda also came up with evidence and actually read out those text messages in court. This was the communication between Kelly Khumalo and her younger sister, Zandi, that she was tired of Senzo, and that Senzo could not take the pressure, and that she regretted ever knowing Senzo Meyiwa and bringing Senzo Meyiwa into her life. Those disclosures were made a year before Senzo was killed. And it was those disclosures, among other things, that were a red flag for Gininda. In other words, these were some of the pieces of evidence that identified Kelly Khumalo as a person of interest to Brigadier Gininda and those around him, or those who were conducting this investigation with him. So I am informed that the top management of the South African Police Services have had another look at this evidence and are contemplating getting Kelly Khumalo to be joined in that trial. So we are likely to see a lot of situations pan out here, because the trial has progressed for quite some time now without Kelly Khumalo. But there is no such thing as, hurried justice. This trial cannot just proceed to finality because so much progress has been made, and it will probably cause some kind of delays if Kelly Khumalo was to join those people in the dock. But you see, it is not about getting instant justice here. It's about getting justice, no matter how long it takes. So, through their own narrative, Gininda and Baloyi have been caught up in their own shenanigans. Because you recall that disclosure that Kelly Khumalo was the mastermind was not willingly given. It was never part of the prosecution case. It came out under cross-examination, to the utter shock and dismay of the prosecution. But those are the facts at our disposal. Gininda cannot go back on this. He has disclosed all this under oath. And my own assessment is that this would be a travesty of justice. It has never happened before that a suspect is disclosed not only to be a suspect, but is also identified as the mastermind of a crime, and there are people sitting in court who are supposed to be her foot soldiers, facing the music, if we can put it that way, only to find that the mastermind is working free. And not only is the mastermind working free, but the mastermind is even daring the lead investigator to arrest him. And this lead investigator has come up with concrete evidence, concrete and conclusive circumstantial evidence that Kelly Khumalo has a case to answer. Gininda also relied on the disputed confessions of the accused persons. to the effect that they disclosed that they had been hired by Khumalo for various amounts of money to kill Meyiwa. Yininda also made the disclosure that as far as his investigations went, there was nothing, there was no bad blood between any of the accused persons and Meyiwa. So that there would be no reason whatsoever for any of the accused persons to have a motive to have Meyiwa killed. So that is the evidence that we have. Khumalo's arrest is imminent. Watch this space. It is going to happen if the top police management go through with it, and we look with an eager eye to see what really happens at the end of it all. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the subscriptions and views that I'm seeing. And please have a nice day.